But let's try to cut something other than paper with this little guy here. Here we have some pigskin, some frozen pigskin with pig fat. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Friday, it's awesome. We have kind of a heat wave here. It's only like -4°C or something. It's pretty interesting, you can say. Anyway, today we're gonna take a look at a little blade here. It's called the Buzzard. It's from a company called Hydra. It's this little guy down here. Very new company, you can say. They're starting up today. So let me give you a fast little background story on why I am presenting this knife to you guys today. A guy by the name of Jorge, I hope I'm not butchering his name here, but he wrote me on my contact email if I wanted to take a look at this little knife here. And it's very rare that I actually take up these offers or requests or what you can say. So today the guys are actually starting up a Kickstarter campaign for this little blade here for their company, and there will be links to the Kickstarter in the description, of course. But the reason I could say that I chose to help them out is that, yeah, I have 125,000 subscribers by now. That means I can actually help people, and anyway, in the best way that I can. And they seemed really, you can say, They seem to have gotten their stuff together really well and be very enthusiastic and so on. He sent me some pictures of the knife and sheath and so on, and I could see that they have actually put in a lot of work. So I thought that they deserved some help on this little Kickstarter campaign there. So that's what I chose to do. So I've been carrying the knife and using the knife for a few months and blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm standing here and rambling, of course, as usual. So let's take a look at the knife here. I would also like to add that we are not going to be here for the entire duration of the video. I am going to show you some clips from my videos where I'm using it and tralala. So here we have the blade. This is how I have chosen to set it up, because this can be rigged up in at least 3 different ways for carry. With the clip here we'll go into in a little bit later. The clip can of course be removed, then it can be carried as a neck knife, and then we have some buckles here, some plastic buckles which can be attached with the screws here, so it can also be carried in a normal belt carry. Here we have the Kydex sheath. It's a pretty nice Kydex sheath, I must say, and it has really good retention. We'll also get back to this in a little bit of a sec. But as I said, I have chosen to rig it up like this with the tack clip, as they call it. I like these type of clips here. This is why I'm using this tech lock here on my SRK. Here we have the tack clip thing here, and you close it like this, then it closes, then we have a little lever here that we flip out. It's right there, and then it's locked. When we want to open it again, we click this little lever back, and then we have another little lever or plunger, what we can call it here, and that opens up the whole thing. Here you can see the little mechanism there. Then we of course have the Kydex sheath. We have a little funky hole here in the Kydex sheath, and that is for this little guy here, or other little guys, whatever you prefer to carry. It is a screw bit, a Phillips bit that you can attach in here and use it as a screwdriver. But as you might be able to see, if you're carrying the ferro rod thing here, then it doesn't leave you really that much space for using it as a screwdriver actually. But what I have found out works well is one of these adapters here, because they will of course also fit. And then we actually have a reasonable screwdriver, or whatever we prefer to put into the little adapter here. But this is how I would make it, and this is why I suggested Jorge to find a ferro rod which has the approximate same diameter as these guys here, because then it would actually be possible to carry this adapter here instead of the ferro rod if we are in city EDC mode, or if we simply just want to carry this adapter instead of the ferro rod, right? So yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do that or what. Anyway, here on the handle we have sort of like a multi-tool for some nuts and bolts and whatnot, M3, M5 and M6. I hope we can see it here. We should be able to see this is the stainless steel it's made from. It's magnetic. It is called 14116. It also goes under the name 420 MOV and CR50 MOV, CR15, blah 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 blah, all sorts of funky stuff. You can look it up. You can anyway, of course, just go to the website or Kickstarter campaign that there will be links to in the bottom and check out what kind of steel it is. Well, let's take a fast look at the little blade here. This is what it looks like. It's relatively thick. It's not flimsy whatsoever. Company is called Hydra. The model here is called Buzzard. You should be able to see that it has a flat grind here and it has a 10-toe point. We have this little curvature here which should be for the fire steel, for the ferro rod. We can try it out real fast. Yeah, this has come loose. I'll get back to that in a little bit of a sec. The ferro rod is also pretty darn new, so when we hit this this coating here, then it's of course a little bit problematic, but it works. And in this little bag here, as you can see, we have a little striker as well. I will try to show you once again here the thickness of the blade. And this is the profile. We have some thumb jimping here. We have some slots here. I would guess you can use them as cable strippers to, if you want to rip the insulation of some cables. That's anyway what it looks like to me. We have this security ring, as they call it, that we can hold it like this, or we cannot use the ring. I mean, I use this quite a lot, and we're gonna take a look at that in a second. But it's a pretty darn nice knife for what it is. I will say also that that the grind here is it's a very slight hollow grind. Now, some of you might go, "Oh, it's a hollow grind, my God!" But I have found that the edge has a really good retention. I mean, I've been using it quite roughly. I used it on my trip to Moscow in the train to you know, cut foods, sausages, bread and stuff like that for. That is of course not really any rough task or something like that, but also it's not a huge knife, so it's of course not a chopper or anything like that. And as I said, it has a slight hollow grind, which makes it really sharp, which is pretty awesome. I also used it in the video where I made the traditional Siberian natives pack frame, and yeah, I just used it there to carve some notches and stuff, like just to see how it was doing at that. Now I knew how well it cut sausage and stuff like that. Seems to be alright as well. Boom. And then we just need to shape them a little bit, because I have a plan on attaching something very heavy to this little guy here. This should be fine. I also used it when I was installing the pump in the well and all that good stuff, right? And that got a little bit of a beating because I was cutting rubber hose, and you can say, hit the edge of the blade here into some brick and tra-la-la-la-la. You can see there's a little nick here out here, but yeah, I most likely used it in other contexts too. I have not sharpened this little guy whatsoever, and not yet anyway, and I have not washed it or anything like that. I've just been cleaning it off with wet napkins and stuff like that. And here I have a very flimsy piece of paper. I know already by now that it doesn't cut the paper cleanly because it has this little nick out here, but it's you can sort of like feel that. And I'm standing here being clumsy with my gloves on, but it's still pretty darn sharp. These are very small, but they're also very flimsy, which makes them a little bit difficult to cut. But yeah, it cuts all right. It cuts all right, right? We can feel it a little bit, but even it has this nick, it actually is doing quite a good job, I'll say. I have chosen to carry it upside down, as you most likely can see in this clip here. I had this knife here on the belt when I was pulling the heavy sled up to the campsite there with the hot tent and all that good stuff. And as you can see, the knife is still there. I mean, I was only carrying or pulling the sled with a heavy-duty utility belt right around here where the knife was sitting, close to the Trailmaster I have in here. And sheath held up fine. Knife didn't get pulled out because I said it hold really well. However, I lost a screw here for the ferro rod holder. But this often happens to me with Kydex sheaths for some weird reason. I don't know if it's the temperature changes or whatever, but I cannot remember a single Kydex sheath setup where I have not lost a screw on either the lock here or on the ferro rod holder. But let's try to cut something other than paper with this little guy here. Here we have some pigskin, some frozen pigskin with pig fat. The pigskin there, it's of course really tough. So let's see how it goes. But it's doing alright. Now Buzzard's gonna be happy again. So that was a little Buzzard from Hydra. Go and check them out, because it seems like they have put a lot of time, effort, enthusiasm and all that good stuff into their project. They plan on making other knives than this little knife. I think they are planning to make tactical and bushcraft knives. Surprise, surprise. But anyway, check them out, guys, because they seem like good guys. So check the links in the description. Please consider supporting the channel and share, subscribe, bell, like, all that good stuff. And until next time, get out and train, get it done, do something awesome, and see you in the next video, guys. Have a great weekend.